Hello, my name is Greg Bjornstead, and welcome to another installment of my video tutorial series for eVit, my new Vineyard database software program. Today I'm going to show you how to use the features and the functions on the subblock details layout. And this is the lowest level of the, maybe smallest is perhaps a better word, of the relational database of grower, vineyard, block, and subblock. It is where most of the data categories are attached. So when I refer to the data categories, it is the contracts, crop estimates, harvest summaries, inputs, maturity sampling, observations, petiole analyses, phonology, and soil analyses. The data categories that are required to attach at the subblock level are crop estimates, harvest summaries, maturity sampling, petiole analyses, phonology, and soil analyses. So that leaves contracts, inputs, and observations to be attached at any level of the hierarchy of grower, vineyard, block, and subblock. All right, so let's dig in. As usual, we're starting here at the main menu, and I will click on subblocks, and we have the opportunity to search for something specific that we're looking for. Type in here and click there. View the subblock list, or go right to details, or add a new subblock right from the main menu. To go through the process, I will select the list and see what we have in the list view. And there we see in bold the name of the subblock that we have in here for our demo data. And grayed out are the grower, the vineyard, and the block identities. Also here in the list view, we can see that we've got the variety that's being presented along with the clone. Here's our navigation, so we know where we are, of our address, subblock list. And again, we have the subblock highlighted in green to keep us knowing where we are. Again, options are available, as they are in every other location, to do the various things that we decide that we'd like to do. So I will get right into the subblock details. You can see that we have one of 12 subblocks, and we can scroll across these records and see the various subblocks, and we can also do that same scrolling while we're looking at any one of the tabs that are being highlighted. So that way you can kind of get at a glance what are the things that you're looking for to compare with others. All right, so back here on the subblock tab, next we have crop estimates, harvest summaries, maturity sampling, observations, inputs, petiole analyses, phonology, and soil analyses. So again, we have more opportunities within the options menu to go back to the list view, create a new subblock, delete this subblock, search, which is very powerful. It doesn't come back if you do that, so that's an important one to be mindful of. Searching subblocks, reassign it if you've made a mistake somewhere along the line and it belongs at another level or to another entity. We can export this information, we can make it inactive or active, and export it, this record, or export, so one record here is being exported, and then the subblock list is being exported with this one. So that's what we have in the options button. And now to go through the details here, starting with the subblock info, I'll see how far I can get with my 15-minute maximum. So here we have a pull-down list of all the varieties that are available to choose, and one of the things that was important to me to build in was that we would have a kind of a limiting set. Once we've chosen the Pinot Noir as a variety, we won't get any other clones from any other varieties, so we will only have available to us those clones that are particular to that variety. You can also add, if you have any, I'm just kind of starting you out with a list, and you are welcome to add other ones and edit it, of course. So the same goes for the rootstock. We can edit this list, you can take away things, add more to it, whatever you are like to do. The same thing goes for the pruning. I have a system here that works for me, but you are also able to edit this and make it your own. So the calculation here comes from, so there is a relationship I should identify here, that these 4 items here are identified here, but also kind of inform the block level. So as a reminder, each one of these blue hyperlinks here will take us back to that level. And so if I click on block 1 here and go up one level in the hierarchy, you will see that we can't edit these fields of variety, clone, rootstock, or pruning because they're determined back at the subblock level. And now you can see here that there are 2 clones within this block. So that suggests that there is at least 2 subblocks. So these 4 items are determined at the subblock level. And just to verify that, we can look at the subblock tab on the block details layout just to confirm that there are 2 subblocks and they each have a different clone and they each have a different pruning system. Okay, so we'll go back. I guess we can just drill down there and get right back to where we were, looking at the subblock that's called rows 1 through 10, wherein I have a lot of data. So I'll go through these, kind of just show these data categories pretty quickly as we're going along. Starting with crop estimates, I have simple crop estimates, and we're looking at the simple chart right now based on simple data. And so there are ways that we get our crop estimate information. Oftentimes we get a call from the grower that says we're going to get this many tons, and if we have the acres field plugged in here, then we have a simple math that's done to get our estimated tons per acre. And we can see who was the estimator, and we can see how this courses over the season. Sometimes we get changes. We also have very interactive graphs, so if we only want to see the tons, we can click on the legend here and make it go away. In this case, it's a simple computation, so they're pretty much following along with the same curves, even though we have different axes on either side. So for the complex data, I have data in 2015. Here we have a much more sophisticated system of crop estimates. We are looking at the stage that the observation was made, the vines that are counted, the number of clusters. We do a calculation automatically to get the clusters per vine. The weight on the scale calculates the average cluster weights, and then we can get the pounds per vine based on the vines per acre. Got the fudge factor. If you think your stand is completely uniform, you would use a 1. If you think it's your sample vines are only represent half, then you would put in a 0.5. The acres field is pulled in from the subblock info tab, and calculations are run for tons per acre and tons expected. So this is what we see then for the complex chart. I'm tracking clusters per vine, cluster weights, pounds per vine, tons per acre, and total tons. And again, these are completely interactive, so if you just wanted to take a look at these other components, you could just drill right in and get a more specific curve and clear out what you're not interested in. Okay, moving along to the harvest summaries. Now this is where we are keeping track of everything that's happened previously from a harvest point of view. We've got tons, we're tracking tons, tons per acre, bricks, pH, and TA. And of course, there's no end of other things that we could keep track of and even maybe add to this graph. Here's what the data looks like. In each case, you'll find that this yellow bar up here is where you would manually type in new records, unless of course you had a bunch of them and we were looking at an import of a significant amount of data. All right, so that's what the chart looks like. And then maturity sampling. I have data for 2014. And so these are some of the things that we're tracking. Bricks with a DMA, and the bricks delta. We're also tracking pH, TA, and potassium. So if we were interested in looking at our accumulation, we could click on those and see what's happening with the accumulation of bricks. Okay, and then observations. So this is kind of at a glance all of the entities that have observations made of them. So S refers to the subblock level, B refers to the block level, and where the date that it was made. These represents the coordinates of the location where the observation was made, and this represents the category. I don't know that maybe I'll save time to dig into each one of these categories later with its own dedicated film, but this is just for an overall introduction. So date, level that the observation is made, who made the observation, your observation within it, whether there are photographs or PDFs or any file attachments to it are visible here. Coordinates and the category, which are completely user-defined as well. So then we're off to inputs, where we have a similar kind of idea, where we see that the initials refer to the level that the input was made. So the vineyard level here represents that the Jones Home vineyard received this water application at the rate of 4 hours, and it was done by Jones, and so I guess what we don't have over here is the category of what this was, but the water would be a frost protection that I can see here from the running all overheads from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. So again, we have files if there's pictures or PDFs. So kind of at a glance, you can see what you've got in your inputs. Petiole analyses are again a collection of the histories of things. I thought it was important both to track both of the nutrient concentrations and the ratio of those nutrients. And in the data table, you can see that these are completely editable. If you don't like my values, you can use your own. Then going on to phonology. So never do we arrive in the vineyard on the date that we have a 50% number. So for that, I identified where when we do arrive, we actually have an actual observation and then an estimated one based on what we think that the bloom is going to be. So that way we're able to track the values that have a 50% number. That's kind of an industry standard. So at a glance, I wanted to be able to see how the vintages line up with each other. So we can click here and see that the last day of pruning was quite a bit earlier in 2016 than it was here in 2014. And we can also accommodate multiple harvest dates over here and still get data points. I also was interested in the number of days that took place between each one of the stages. So that this 72 is the number of days between 50% bud break to 50% bloom in 2016. And we have that, and again, we can account for multiple harvest dates. So then moving on to the last one, soil. This is really kind of a placeholder for your information. I haven't really built this out yet, but what's held in here are the results from the lab, both in the Excel spreadsheet and in the PDF. Maybe there's pictures of the holes that were dug. Maybe there's a soil profile that's there. So there we are at a glance. I wanted to give you an overview of how these the subblock details works, and so it looks like I've got plenty to dig into with all these other data categories. But so stay tuned, and thanks for watching, and all the best to you. Bye.